What can Arsenal expect when they turn up to the Czech Republic tomorrow, Arsenal fans? I'm expecting a tough game in the Champions League, but we have a tough squad to compete on all fronts that we've spoken about. But today we are talking about the Champions League and our expectations for the game tomorrow. What we can take from Burnley at the weekend as well, and also the starting 11, because injuries are becoming a problem now, even more so, like we didn't know that already. And rotation needs to happen, because if we want to be competing on all fronts come the end of the season, players that need the minutes need to start getting minutes now. And I believe that in this game, or I could be wrong, because some may not make as many changes as I make. You may still want to go strong. You're going to let me know in the comments below. Absolutely. But I think this is a good game where we can make changes and still go and win the game because of the squad we have. But we're going to talk about that in stages. People, make sure you're locked in to Arsenal TV. This is your new Arsenal family here on YouTube, the Arsenal Nation. So make sure you subscribe. We're on the way to 1,000 subscribers, and smash the like button as well. We are on the road to 30 likes on this video as well. Now, as I said, there are a number of things we can take away from Burnley going in to Sparta Prague tomorrow, because obviously our next 3 games, well, these 3 games, Burnley away, Prague away, Sunderland away, we're all going to be away from home. So it's about respecting the away teams, even though we think highly of ourselves as Arsenal right now. We think very, very highly of ourselves, and rightly so, because we're putting in the runs to think highly of ourselves. We're putting in performances to think highly of ourselves. We're slapping down records to think highly of ourselves. But we still need an big element of being humble and respectful the same way. Now, the last time we actually faced Slavia Prague was in a semi-final or a quarter semi-final, potentially, or group stage. We actually beat them 4-0 away, and they came to the Emirates and we drew 1-1 with Slavia Prague. So we faced Slavia Prague before only twice. That was a long time ago now. This is only their 3rd time being in the Champions League as well, Slavia Prague. And with the shows that I've seen from various different Slavia Prague fans, a lot of them are saying, even though they have hope and high expectations, they are praying that they can get a win against Arsenal. Now, their record in the Champions League isn't the best. They are currently sitting 28th in the Champions League group, while we are sitting 4th on 9 points. Slavia Prague are sitting 28th on 2 points. Their first game was against Bodo Glimt, where they drew 2-2. Then they went away to Inter Milan and lost 3-0, and then they held a 0-0 draw with Atalanta. Now, we know in our games we beat Athletic Club first game, then it was Olympiacos, I'm doing this off the top of my head, then it was Atletico Madrid, and now it's Slavia Prague. And all those games that we've played, obviously, you know that we've not conceded any goals in the Champions League so far this season. That is a mean feat. And someone that has been a key player, a part of that, Gabriel Martinelli, someone that we're going to talk about later. Will he be able to make it for this game? I hope Martinelli can make it for this game. I still don't know. We still don't know right now what Arteta has to say on Gabriel Martinelli and the further injury news that we're going to get into some players later on in the show, with the likes of Zubamendi and Gyökeres as well, and why some changes because of these injuries I will make to the team tomorrow. But Martinelli, someone I would love to start, but as I said, we will see what happens with Martinelli. So as I said, I've given you Slavia Prague's record. I've given you our record and where things stand. Now, I want to talk about the midfield first of all, because the midfield is the first problem that I think Arsenal and Arteta is going to need to rectify on tomorrow. Why? Because Zubamendi obviously went down with a slight injury on the 70th minute, had to come off. And he's also suspended for the Slavia Prague game for the dissent that he showed in the Atletico Madrid game. So he's going to need to be rotated out. Declan Rice is on a yellow card, and if he receives one more yellow card, he misses the Bayern Munich game. I do not want him to miss the Bayern Munich game. So what do we do with the midfield? Because this is where changes are going to start to come in, and I'm going to start with the midfield, because why not? Because I feel like the back four is self-explanatory. I'll get to the back four. You know what? Let's start from back to front. Actually, let's talk about the starting 11, because with the Brighton game last week in the Carabao Cup, we saw players come in. First half wasn't great. They came up for the second half and they actually stepped up a level and they continued Arsenal's clean sheets. We got good performances from the likes of Ranieri, the likes of Diamond, Harry Mananous that got his start as well, who also played well in that second half. Hincapié played well in that centre half. The whole team as a whole stepped up in that second half. And this is where it's one of those games where some of those players may get a run out in this game. And I would actually start Kepa in this game. I would start Kepa in this game as well. Give Raya a rest. I feel like Kepa is an able deputy to come into this game and start strong, save shots. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually concede a goal or, no, not a goal or two, just a goal in this game, because it's getting to a point now where I'm like, as confident as I am, I'm pretty sure we're going to let in a goal at some point. I hope it's not soon and I hope we don't. I genuinely hope we don't. I don't think we will, but we might at the same time. At the same time, that's no fault of Kepa. That is just football. At the end of the day, we are going to concede at some point. But I would happily start Kepa in this game because for the two starts that he's had this season, obviously Port Vale, Brighton, I think he can start against Slavia Prague and do a good enough job in there for us, for the Arsenal. Now, the back four, like Brighton, Timber, have a break. He's been so consistent since last season, playing so many games and having to play so many games because Ben White has been out. Ben White came back for Brighton last week. He was on the bench. Did he come on? I can't remember if he came on against Burnley on Saturday. I can't remember if he came on against Burnley, but he will come in for this game because he's one of the players that now needs to start getting up to scratch, up to form, up to speed. Comes in at right back. Saliba can have a rest because Mosquera is able to replace him. And also, let's just talk briefly on William Saliba because there was something released by The Athletic yesterday that you all may not know about. It was either released by The Athletic or The Telegraph. Make sure you subscribe to Arsenal TV as well. Make sure you smash the like button if you haven't smashed the like button already. And subscribe as well. Road to 1,000k people. But William Saliba came up with some comments yesterday. I wonder if I can find the comments right now. But he basically was speaking about Real Madrid and the rumours surrounding him at Real Madrid. And he said the interest from Real Madrid, I know off the top of my head actually, the interest from Real Madrid is obviously tempting. But he said he wants to win titles at Arsenal first before he thinks about going anywhere. Is that something for next season we need to worry about? Is that something for the next couple of seasons we need to worry about? Of this season permanently alone, because if we don't win anything, players wanting moves to other clubs will absolutely start to heat up, to say the least. So saying with that in mind, potentially a Saliba in the future potentially leaving, Mosquera, it's time for you to come in and start stepping up, because if Saliba is going to leave in the future, I want you to start getting used to this pressure now. And he had this first game. When he had his first game and came in for Saliba at Anfield, that we saw able deputy. And since he's come in for Saliba, bar a shaky moment against Newcastle where we concede the corner and they score from the corner, and bar another shaky moment towards the end of the game against Brighton, he's been absolutely brilliant. And I think Mosquera is more than capable of coming in for this game, giving Saliba a rest, sit him on the bench. And I feel like that is the same for Hincapié and Gabriel. Gabriel is absolutely key to almost everything we're doing right now as Arsenal, leading the back four, keeping it strong, and also being a commander in the box as well. There was a couple of times against Burnley where they were just sending throw-ins into the box, and Gabriel was just making that last little late run to come and meet the header. He's a commander of the box as well as Raya is from corners and free kicks and bloody blah. But Gabriel is imperious, and as someone that had hamstring surgery towards the end of the season, give him a break. It's fine. Let him rest. Hincapié now has had more minutes. He got 20 more minutes against Burnley. He came on in around the 70th minute. He's ready to start this game, in my opinion. And then on the left, it's simple. Give Calafiori a rest. Similar reasons to Gabriel, in and out of the team. I want you fresh for the Premier League on Sunday. against Sunderland and start Lewis Skelly. Give Lewis Skelly minutes. He is ready. This is why we have the depth that we've wanted. For me personally, anyway, I don't know what you lot think. Let me know in the comments below. But this is what I've wanted for the years, to be able to rotate a starting back four and put in a starting back four. That's what you want to be able to do in any top football club, and we can do that in abundance, or back five even. So let's do it. I trust that back five to keep a clean sheet in the Czech Republic tomorrow. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments below. Now, as I said earlier, and we're going to get to it now, the midfield. Now, people have worries about Norgard being the lone six in midfield. Can he do a job? There were some varying thoughts and opinions on Norgard's performance against Brighton. Like I said, no one had the best half against Brighton in that first half. Apart from, you may say, Dowman. Norgard wasn't great, but they all stepped up in the second half, and Norgard was a part of that. And he's much more of a ball-winning midfielder, I would say, than being compared to like Zubamendi or a Jorginho back in the day. Jorginho would have come in for this game if Jorginho was still here. Marshal the midfield, keep it ticking over, line breaking passes and controlling the play from midfield. That's what Jorginho would do. Norgard is a very different six from Jorginho. We know that he's much more of a ball winner. I wouldn't say he's a bulldozer, but he will cover ground. And this is someone else that is another starter. He was the captain of Brentford, Premier League proven. He starts for his international team, Denmark. Why can't you come in and do a job in this game? Zubamendi's out, and in my head, Rice is out, in my opinion. I do not want Rice. If Rice doesn't need to play this game, I don't want him playing this game. Maybe come on, if you're going to bring on Rice potentially if we need him from like 65 minutes onwards to change the flow of the game, in my opinion. And if we don't need him at all, perfect. He's fine for buying. So in that six, I would actually start Norgard. In the 8 role, I would start Marino. Someone else starts for Spain. 6 and 6 for Spain, international midfielder. He's had moments this season for Arsenal. The midfield three of Zubamendi, Rice and Marino, I never want to see again, ever again. Or depends on the game. But even so, Marino as a midfielder still needs to do more things for me. He's a technically gifted midfielder. There's no doubt about that. He's got the flicks, he's got the tricks, and he's got the finish as well. Technically gifted, but I need to see more from him. I need to see more lung-busting runs for him. I need to see more drives into the box for Marino, for Arsenal, because he does it for Spain. I don't know how, I don't know what is happening there over there with Spain, but they're finding a way with Marino. I need him to find a way in this game against Slavia Prague. You should be able to win. You should be able to do a job in this midfield for Arsenal, in my opinion. So far, we've got Kepa in goal with White, Mosquera, Hincapié, Skelly, Norgard, Marino. That 10 role. I'm tempted to keep Eze in there. I am tempted to keep Eze in there because I still want him to get used to that 10 position. If Odegaard is out again at some point in the season, in my opinion, I would put Eze back there. I want to see Wanyeri in there. Had a good game against Brighton. Had a good cameo against Burnley. I think he's ready to start this Champions League game at the least, with Norgard and Marino supporting him. In my opinion, there was a nice 360 pirouette that he did in there. Again, even against Brighton, line breaking passes, starting to find some connections between him and Dowman as well, and him and the striker as well, Gyökeres. That's good. That's what we need. A bit of exuberance and a bit of creativity in there as well. And then I'd start Eze on the left, because if Martinelli is still injured, I'd put Eze out there, give him some time on the left, have some fun on the left, give Trossard a rest, because now he is the starter for the Premier League in Arteta's eyes. Now, at the moment, he is the Premier League starter. It's Trossard. So rest him for the weekend. He got an assist against Burnley, of course, for Declan Rice's header. So give Trossard a rest, start Eze on the left and potentially rotate him out in the second half to give him a rest, ready to start back in the 10 for Sunday. On the right, I would like to see, on the right-hand side, Saka. Saka is still finding his feet. we haven't seen the best Saka yet this season, and his numbers aren't reflecting the numbers that he was putting up last season. But he's been in and out, gone down a number of times. We know his hamstring hasn't been great and everything else. So Saka still needs time to find his feet. He could have scored twice against Burnley on Saturday and he didn't get his goals. Very frustrating, to say the least. Annoying. But I feel like because Madueke got injured so early, Saka had to come back. We didn't have anyone recognised on the right-hand side to play because Wanyeri is not seen as a winger anymore. He's seen as a central player. So Saka probably got rushed back a bit too early, and that's why he's still finding his feet. And also, he had a cold last week as well. He could still be recovering from that, but we will see. He did have a good game out last week where he scored against Brighton in the Carabao Cup, didn't he? He scored against Brighton in the Carabao Cup when Harry Mananous didn't age. It would have been so good if Harry Mananous had scored that goal, but Saka did get a goal against Brighton. But as I was saying, sorry, I'm not sure who's going to start between Dalman and Saka, in my opinion. I think you can even start Dalman in this game or the last game. I think that's against the All-Star team. I think they're an All-Star team. I can't remember which continent they're from, but it's an All-Star team. I think Dalman either starts this game or that game, in my opinion. And I want to give Saka a rest. I do want to give Saka a rest so he can, come on in the second half. Add some extra exuberance, adds a level up from Dalman, in my opinion. I feel like Dalman is ready to start this game. I think he's ready. And I know he's 15 and he's not going to start many games. Like there are games there where Dalman's not going to start. For example, after the international break, I'd be very surprised if Dalman gets minutes against Tottenham, Chelsea and Bayern, in my opinion. I'd be very, very surprised because that's where the level goes up. So I think give Dalman some minutes now, interchange with Saka, protect the both of them. And then you go with Gyökeres down the middle, in my opinion. Keep one of Dalman or Saka on the bench for some attacking options because defensively we're absolutely stacked. But I think that's the team that can go to Slavia Prague tomorrow and get the win. Yes, it's a number of changes again, and you may want to keep some consistency in that team. But for me, we need to be getting players up to speed now. Ben White needs to get up to speed. Nkapia needs to get up to speed. Norgard needs to get up to speed. These players need to get up to speed, the same speed that Arsenal are at right now, so that everyone is singing from the same hymn sheet. Maybe a lot of changes, but I will do that. I will rotate those players out. Absolutely, in my opinion. So let me know what you think of that in the comments below, people. It is Slavia Prague versus Arsenal, 5:45 kickoff in the Champions League tomorrow as well. So make sure you've got your schedules, your clocks assigned for that. Don't think it's 7:45 or 8 o'clock. You will get caught out. And my prediction for the game, I said all that gas about potentially us conceding, but I am not going to predict that. I actually think we're going to win this game like 3-0. So I'm predicting 3-0 away win to the Arsenal, and we will make it 4 wins out of 4 in the Champions League. Hopefully we do that. But people, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Arsenal TV, and we will be back later on today or tomorrow with another video. Keep your eyes peeled, turn on the notifications. Love and guidance, people. Peace.